kidding me? I don't even know what What's up, guys? On this episode of Daws Custom, we're going to go ahead and put in our tack for the square body. Never put a tack in, so we'll see if it works once it's hooked up. So let's get started. So the tack that we're going to use is Equus. I think that's how you pronounce it. So a tack is pretty simple to hook up. I've read the instructions. I'm not going to use them because we don't use instructions. Nonsense. But tack, there's a ground, which is the black in this occasion. Then there's a red, which the black is a ground, the red is a hot, and then the white is for your light in the gauge. It lights up the gauge. And then this will go to your coil or distributor. We have a HEI distributor, so we'll be hooking it up that way. I'm sure it's the same way, but this will hook up to a ground of your coil if you have a coil. I'll hook it up to my Volkswagen. But I don't know how good this is. It's just an Amazon special. Nothing fancy, it just goes up to 8,000. That'll be plenty for what we're doing. I don't think we'll ever be turning the big block square body at 8,000 RPM. If we do, we're gonna have problems. So we're not gonna do that right now. We're gonna get to hooking this up. Should be pretty straightforward. I'll need to get my soldering iron. It's my brother's, but I hijacked it from him, so I'm gonna use it. So we'll get that plugged up and let it start heating up. Unfortunately, it's starting to get cold, so I don't know how much longer we're gonna do this, because I don't have heat in the garage. So bear with me until I can get some heat going. I have some of the stuff, but not all of it. So, but anyway, we'll get to going on this tack. So I went ahead and fished the wires through the dash. I don't really like how I'm gonna mount this already because I didn't realize I was trying to make it to where I could attach it to the column, but when you turn the key on and move the column shifter down into drive, the column turns, and I didn't pay no attention, so I'm gonna have to mount the tack over here, and then when I put it in drive, the tack's gonna have to come around to where then I can read it. So I don't really like how I'm gonna have to do that, but that's how I'm gonna have to do it. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna go ahead and fish the green wire through now. The green wire has to go out to the distributor. The rest of the wires, I believe, can stay in here. I think that's where I'm gonna route them. So now we're gonna go out here or go under the dash and push this green wire through the firewall. So what I did, there is a grommet right there that I've ran some other stuff through, like my oil pressure gauge. There's the hot wire for the fans. So I'm gonna run it out this grommet right here. Go out right through the firewall, and then I can go directly to the distributor. So now we're going to go out here and pull it the rest of the way through. We're going to go ahead and pull the breather off. So this is actually the factory breather. That metal portion is the factory breather off of the camper that this motor come out of. For you, the people that don't know, this motor came out of a camper and I used as much as I could off of the camper. The distributor is not out of the camper. It's one I had to buy for another truck that I didn't use. But now, if you look at the HEI distributor, where it says TAC, there's a little prong up underneath of it right here next to the ignition plug for the distributor. So this is the ignition and this is for the TAC. There's a prong up underneath there. That's where the green wire is going to go to. The kit that I got came with a terminal end, so I'm just going to use that. That's all I have right now, so we're just going to make that work. I don't really care for it, but the wiring under here is kind of a mess. A lot of those wires right there for the air conditioner. I don't have it hooked up yet, but I'm going to have to run the green wire over with the wiring harness, which goes right to there. It kind of disappears behind the motor. But yeah, this truck, the wiring is kind of scattered everywhere. It was like that when I got it. I just haven't got around to trying to clean it up some. Maybe put some wire loom on it. Alright, so now I found the terminal end that I needed. Now we're just going to cut the wire and strip it and put it on the end so I can hook it directly up to the distributor. Nice and cribbed. All right, now we were fighting that. We finally got it hooked up. So I got another plug-in to put on. This is going to go underneath here into this. This plugs into the ignition. This is what I wired my fans into. So we're gonna jump off of that. This will go to the red wire. It's gonna be the power wire. Then we'll just have to hook up the ground and the TAC should work. The white I'm not gonna mess with right now. That'll also be going to the lights to light the gauge up. I'm not really concerned about that at the moment. Alright, so go ahead and cut partial of the red off. Leave it a little long. So if I ever need to route somewhere else, might be able to. That's lovely. All right, well, since I broketed the terminal end on the red wire, I'm gonna have to solder it. So we're gonna cut forward to the ground until I can solder it, until the soldering iron heats up. But I'm gonna take my ground. I found a place in here for grounds, oddly enough. And I'm going to hook it up there. I think that's a good spot for it. Instead of trying to find somewhere else to hook it up, I'll hook it directly up to a grounds place underneath the dash. So I'm gonna go get my round terminal and crimp it on the block. Hopefully we don't mess this one up too. It's not very pretty, but it will do the job, hopefully. All right, now we're gonna get a wrench and take the bolt out. So the bolt was a 10mm, but that's a little rusted up, so we're gonna have to clean that up before we can hook it back up to make sure we get a good ground. So the tack works, so we don't have a problem with the tack. So now I'm gonna figure out how I'm gonna clean this. All right, now we're gonna put the ground back in there. This is the same size. This ground. Yes. Barely, but yes. So. Dash. All right. Let's see if I can call up the dash here. Got it. Are you kidding me? I don't even know. Back up under the dash. 40th time. Now I get ratcheted. Looks like ground is good. Now let's solder a hot wire. Almost burnt my hand. First, put some flux on there. I used to suck at soldering. Still not the greatest, so I still suck. But this iron has made a world of difference. It makes it a lot easier to solder. But flux makes a big difference. There's nothing fancy about this that we use. So let's get down to it. Let that cool off a little bit. This should plug right up into that prong that I was showing you earlier. All right, so this doohickey is gonna go right in here. This prong, let's get up here so I can see. Right in there. Alright, so we should have power. Let's see here. Let's turn the truck on. Alright, so I got my TAC just sitting on my dashboard at the moment. We're gonna fire her up and see if she works. Fans are kicked on. Fasten the seatbelt. Here we go. Oh yeah. All right, works. Good deal. Wasn't too hard to wire up. Let's back her out and we'll take her for a spin down the road. We'll check it out. See what kind of RPM we pull. Alright guys, we're gonna go for a little test drive down the road. Don't recommend videoing and driving. Sorry Mom and Dad. I ignore my squeaky brake. I don't know why it started doing that. I don't know if it's because it's cold or what. vehicles, but not too bad. I think I'm going to mount it to the column. Probably won't do that today. Alright guys, that's going to be it for this one. Unfortunately, I have to go to work tomorrow, and it's about 7 o'clock. So I'm going to get home and do what I need to do to prepare for that. Until then, stay tuned for our next episode. But that is it for the TAC episode. I'll probably get it mounted some other time. Not really concerned about that. I might end up mounting it somewhere else. Who knows? Check out our other social media. But thanks for watching. This has been Daws Custom.